Hey, what is going on, SMT Nation? It is your boy, the SMT. I've got a loaded video. I'm just going to get right into it. We've got tons of news. The first thing I want to discuss is the Ericsson record just set for C-band transmission. They're breaking all types of speed records relative to this particular type of frequency. Ericsson, I think what they're doing here is they're really setting a trend. I think they're going to be the company that is going to really excel in this particular area of deployment for the wireless networking for like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. So the new record in C-band testing shows that they have a single user connectivity that is peaking pretty high, some really incredible matrix speeds that are exceeding downlinks of 1.5 gigabits per second. That's really, really fast, especially when you're thinking about just, going from, the transmission point from the radio over to a person's handheld. That's really fast. The technology utilized here is the advanced MIMO antenna technology and software that is a unique algorithm created by Ericsson. It's a unique 4-component beamforming strategy from base station to end user, requiring the radio hardware being a 64T64R AAS model. So for all you specification junkies out there, transmitting from a rooftop site in Plano, Texas. So that lets you know where they're doing this. They've got headquarters there. I believe they do some manufacturing, some other things there in development. Ericsson's going to be a huge winner in 5G. I think that's pretty apparent, both in the mid-band and I think also in the millimeter wave network technologies. Standalone 5G is going to be their specialty. They're going to really excel there. Wide channel operations, we're talking 100 megahertz plus of transmission here. Cell capacities using 16-layer MU-MIMO 256 QAM 8UE technologies, achieving 5.4 gigabits per second cell site capacity. That's stemming back from several months ago. Ericsson's winning here. I think it's pretty clear. Ericsson will be the leader, I think, in hardware and software solutions in commercial and enterprise 5G moving forward. Specifically, I think CBRS and C-band are going to be a huge piece of what they do in specializing moving forward, leading the way in innovations. They're achieving a lot of industry firsts. I think they're going to earn the trust of the carriers. I think specifically Verizon Wireless and AT&T will be going mostly exclusive with Ericsson for their sub-6 gigahertz solutions. Again, I can't reiterate it enough. I really do think Ericsson is the company that's going to really lead the way for these carriers moving forward with these higher capacity, wider channels for 5G. So next little bit of news here coming out of AT&T. They've got a new contract. This one is big money. This is a contract that usually these types of contracts go to Verizon. I think Verizon should be, a little worried here, or maybe they didn't really compete for it. I don't really know what happened, but so here's the news. All right, this is a brand new contract for AT&T. They've never had this particular deal. This contract gets them a deal with the FBI. This is formerly a Verizon wireless contract, another FirstNet edition for AT&T, valued at $92 million for their mobility and wireless services for the division. The duration of the contract is set at 5 years. The big kicker here is that Verizon loses and AT&T wins. Verizon traditionally and historically gets public contracts. They also get the government contracts. This appears to be changing. This appears to now be an AT&T special. So Big Blue, the Death Star, as they say, really jumping at the opportunity to get a lot of these deals. So they've got the DOJ deal as well. They've got deals with Nellis and other bases around the country. Now they've got the FBI deal. So with the FBI business and personal communications now in place for AT&T, this will include a lot of the local offices, a lot of the different facilities, all moving over to these FirstNet contracts. So with these FirstNet deals, this is a completely separate operational network core for those VIPs that are on the FirstNet services. It leverages the AT&T network sites, obviously, as well as their assets and spectrum. They do receive priority access at all times, specifically during emergency moments and times when they require that exclusive access. Band 14, which is the 700 megahertz frequency that they linked in this deal, is going to be a big part of what they do moving forward in commercial and mobility for all customers. But specifically, you could see how here it's going to be leveraged for the FirstNet deal. AT&T is winning. Everybody knows it. Verizon obviously appears to be kind of shifting their focus towards enterprise and consumer wireless and home internet. I think this is an indication, just kind of puts the bow on it. AT&T's winning with the government deals. They've got a lot going on. It really does appear to be theirs for the taking. We don't really see T-Mobile landing anything in this sector, and Verizon seems to be kind of stepping away and de-emphasizing it. Not that Verizon doesn't have any type of public contracts, but I mean, it's really shifted towards AT&T favor. I think this is bigger news than a lot of people think it is. Maybe they just haven't really thought about it, but everything does seem to be shifting towards AT&T in this place. And shifting over to the last little bit of news, this one on C-band auction. This is auction 107. Official first starting day is today, December 8th, 2020. Spectrum auction 107 is for the C-band 3.7 gigahertz mid-band spectrum. We've got 280 megahertz of it, considered to be the Goldilocks of 5G spectrum. In day one, we have round one finally completed. $1.7 billion in bids were generated. Gross proceeds, that is big money. Compared to CBRS, the 3.5 gigahertz spectrum auction that happened over the summer, that was able to generate, I think, a total of $4.5 billion. That was for 70 megahertz of mid-band spectrum, 3.5 gigahertz. 76 rounds of bidding in total for that auction. I think the expectations here are that I think the analysts are right. I think we are going to see $50+ billion in total proceeds. I was leaning more towards mid-40s. I think 50 is definitely achievable based on just, day one, round one bids. The auction will endure several rounds of bidding, obviously. This will be daily moving forward for the next month or longer. The auction, expected to have a January completion, possibly even into February. It just kind of depends when all the licenses are done being auctioned. Probably sometime in February, we'll find out who wins what and how much they got. Some insights, actually, here, some interesting stuff. These early auction licenses are in really crucial high-capacity needs areas. So these markets, what are considered to be the really important ones, so top 10, top 20, top 30 markets, those are the ones that are auctioned early. So New York, there were 2 licenses in New York that actually bid for $15 million each. These were the top 2 auctions. In LA, there were licenses that reached $11.6 million. Chicago had licenses that reached $5.6 million. San Francisco had some that reached $5.4 million. And Washington, D.C. that reached $4.7 million. You could see how this added up pretty quick to $1.7 billion. The stakes are really high here. Verizon Wireless, AT&T, probably were the ones that got these. I don't see T-Mobile getting involved. They've got huge assets in 2.5 gigahertz. This just isn't really their place. So it looks like the 2 big dogs are the ones that are probably stomping around for these. I just wanted to give you some perspective, and this is where things are interesting to compare. CBRS Day 1 generated $357 million. C-band generated $1.7 billion. So you can see how the scale is very, very different. That is 5 times higher in terms of the monetary value and bids that were generated comparing those day ones between the 2 auctions. Again, I think it's going to generate so much money. This is insane. I think they are going to hit the $50 billion mark. It's very possible. Day 1, and we're going to probably have anywhere between like 40 and 50 days maybe. All I'm saying is they might get it. I think 45 million is a slam dunk. I think 50 million is quite possible. Let me know what you think of the news from today's episode. Let me know what you think of, the FirstNet deal with the FBI. AT&T expanding their presence in the public sector with these government contracts. Let me know what you also think of the first piece of news with Ericsson continuing to have breakthroughs in C-band testing, and then let me know what you think as well of Spectrum Auction 107 generating $1.7 billion, blowing CBRS out of the water, and probably trending towards exceeding the AWS Spectrum Auction back in 2015. I'd love to hear what you have to say. The voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. That just about does it for this edition of the SMT YouTube channel. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to watch. We appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to give this video a like and share it to all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, consider becoming a subscriber if you'd like more from the SMT, and activate that bell notification icon so you never miss an upload and you'll be the first to know when something does hit the YouTubes. Also, we've got items in the description box. We've got a Discord server. The @SneedTech Twitter handle is there, and there's ways to donate and support SMT creation. That pretty much does it for today. Thank you so much for being here again. Hope you have a great day, and we'll hopefully see you soon on the next video. Peace.